Backstage at a rather wet Rock on the Range Day 2 2018. I'm Lou Brutus. Paolo from Trivium joins me now. Good to see you again. How you been?
Good to see you, man. Been very well.
Tell me about writing the sin in the sentence. I think you were eyeball deep in that process.
Yeah, we started probably about 2 years from now, and it was just kind of writing, conceptualizing, talking about it on the bus. We got Alex into the band to play drums, and then it was sort of like a writing session in between having a tour and then going in the studio with Josh Wilbur. And we just wanted to make a record that kept all the melody that we've been bringing on the last few records, but really amp it up, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit of like kind of a throwback to some of our older stuff, you know, with the fast double bass. And yeah, it's been great. We've been touring on it. This is probably the most new songs we've had in a set ever, and people just seem to not be able to get enough of it, so it's been going great.
What makes a good band member? What makes somebody a good person to be out on the road with?
I think when you're considerate of everyone on the bus, you kind of keep your mess contained to like your area. You know, having a good time, but like not going too crazy, and you know, keeping the noise down once it gets to a certain time is always a nice thing for us on the bus.
If you went back to speak to your younger self right before going on your first real tour, what would you say?
I'd probably say maybe chill out a little bit on the Jägermeister because first couple years a little rough. That'd be the best advice because I had a couple blackouts that were a little rough, but I learned my lesson, and now I would definitely tell myself that.
Spinal Tapian moments, all bands have them. Things go wrong. I know you guys have had a lot, as any touring band does. Give me a couple of highlights/lowlights.
Wow. I mean, one of my things is like I have been prone to falling on stage. Hopefully I won't today, but when it's like slick, it's when it gets a little rough for me, and it's hard for me to like hold back. I just want to kind of like run around, and yeah, so I've been known to slip, and it's actually immortalized on the Ascendancy special edition. The show we did in London is where I totally slipped, fell on my ass, and it's there for all eternity now and immortalized on the DVD.
Speaking of London, I'm going to be there next month. Going to catch the Rolling Stones, going to do stuff with Stone Sour.
Yes.
That's a special place to play, and it's got some great venues. Tell me some, you said a low light. Tell me about some highlights about that city, musically and non.
Yeah, I mean, we just headlined Brixton Academy, and that's one of the, you know,
coolest places on the planet.
Historical venue. We've played Hammersmith, which is, for me, like that is like the place. I mean,
we
Motorhead.
Miss You, Lemmy.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much Motorhead, I think, put that on the map for like rock and roll. I mean, you think of Hammersmith, you think of Lemmy. We played there 2 nights with Iron Maiden back on the Matter of Life and Death tour, Earl's Court, which is, again, another historic venue. And we've done the O2 Arena with Maiden. So we've done 3 shows with Iron Maiden in London on separate occasions.
What is it like to walk on stage at a place like the O2? I have been there once. I was there for the Led Zeppelin reunion.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's wild.
Do you have a sense of history when you're going to walk out someplace, and does it add a little bit of an edge or a little bit of trepidation to your set?
I mean, for me, it's just like it reminds you how long this has been going on, and that we're part of this journey with this genre of music, and just makes you want to have a good show. I love it. I love the history of rock music. I love playing in these venues, to like actually be in the place where we played Ulster Hall years and years ago, and that was like the place where like Led Zeppelin first played like Stairway to Heaven, and it's like just knowing that kind of stuff for me is just, that's wild. It's a trip.
Before I let you go, we're going to do the video for Endless Night. What kind of background can you give on the tune?
This was a tune that Matt had he had started some music that he was kind of writing for. It wasn't a side thing for another band or anything, but it was like a project he was working on, some music for someone. And I remember hearing the demo, and I'm like, I'm going to pull the Trivium card and be like, we're pulling that into the record. We're going to work on this. I think this is something we can definitely turn into something cool. And Yeah, that was basically it. It was like when he showed it to me, I'm like, this has got the right chords, the right progression. Let's jam this out and see what we can get out of this. And I'm really happy we did, because the record is very aggressive, but this song rounds it out perfectly. We're a band that likes to have the dynamics of like melody and groove, so we don't overload it with too much of the aggression. It's like finding that right balance, and that's what we've always considered with Trivium, is finding the balance between the melody and the aggression, and this song fits in perfectly there.
And here it is, Endless Night, Backstage with Trivium at Rock on the Range.